I think the government has been half-hearted on fully implementing Brexit. And I think this is mainly due to concerns about the economic impact on UK business. Business is lobbying government on the negative impact of Brexit, and there is no doubt that Brexit is hurting UK businesses. The British Chambers of Commerce has recently warned that companies are facing ever higher costs stemming from Brexit. In their election manifesto, the BCC says that the government must negotiate improved UK trading terms with our largest trading partner, the European Union. There's two main problems that Brexit has created for UK business. Firstly, the ending of free movement of labour has cut off a massive supply of often cheaper labour. Certain sectors of the economy are suffering severe labour shortages, and this is hurting business. Of course, ending free movement and controlling immigration is one of the Brexiteers' main objectives. When the UK took the decision to end free movement, this negative impact on business was inevitable. But the government has been half-hearted here. It's allowed immigration to increase significantly to help the job market. It's actually increased to record levels. And this undermines the Brexit objective of allowing the labour market to adjust to not automatically of having a supply of cheaper labour. The BCC Director General is clear about what business wants, working with the EU to ensure that the movement of people for work is easier will absolutely benefit our businesses. It's totally understandable that business is saying this, but it's effectively saying that we should have freer movement of people. And the government has found ways to water down the ending of free movement by allowing this record increase in immigration. I recently did a separate video specifically on this. The second point is that there is also no doubt that business has faced increased costs of trading with the EU, increased admin and compliance costs, extra paperwork and complexities for importing and exporting with the EU, especially for animal and plant products. Again, the government has been somewhat half-hearted here. It's not fully applied the new UK import customs systems yet, and I've also done a separate video on this. In a recent publication, the National Audit Office highlighted the incompetence of the UK's implementation of new post-Brexit rules. So there's a problem here, and I think it's a problem of politicians not being honest with the electorate. On the one hand, there's this half-hearted commitment to implementing Brexit in terms of immigration and fully implementing new UK customs rules. You might say it's pragmatic, but the government has not made the case to soften or water down Brexit. It's saying one thing and doing another. There's a real lack of clarity, almost a split personality between what the government's doing for business and what it's saying to the electorate. By the way, I'm not saying that it's easy for the government. Economically, Brexit is an act of self-harm, and this has made it difficult for politicians to balance all the various interests. A fully implemented Brexit is inflationary due to greater importing and exporting costs and higher wages as the UK market adjusts to no longer having an infinite supply of cheaper labour. In the cost of living crisis, an argument might be made that the government is merely being pragmatic. At the same time, I do have some sympathy with Brexiteers that complain that Brexit hasn't been implemented adequately. We're obviously in the middle of an election campaign at the moment, but I think that this tension is going to exist even if we have a change of government. The Tories are currently promising nothing different, although we might expect Tory policy to change significantly after the election, as it's very likely the Tories are going to lose. And I think we can expect a shift to the right, with a greater commitment to fully implementing Brexit, despite the economic cost and the impact on business. That's if the Tory party can survive, of course. The Labour Party, of course, will be in government soon, and they're saying things that align with what the BCC is saying. Keir Starmer has said that the current UK-EU trade arrangements are far too thin, and that the UK should establish a closer trading relationship with the EU, that it should negotiate a better deal, that the UK should seek more favourable terms. But with the important caveat that the joining of the customs union or single market is ruled out. Labour definitely sounds more pro-EU and kind of more pro-business than the Tories, so perhaps we can expect them to be as sympathetic to business as the Tories have been. It's quite likely that the commitment to implementing Brexit will continue to be somewhat half-hearted, I think. There is a risk in trying to negotiate a better deal. A better deal just isn't possible without the UK accepting the application of some EU law in the UK. The risk here is of ceding sovereignty, and for me, this is problematic. If the UK was to do this, I think that this needs to be explained to the electorate. Let the politicians make the case for watering down Brexit. We need proper debates on both immigration and the trading relationship with the EU. Labour should explain, for example, the implications of a closer relationship with the EU, the fact that the UK would have to adopt new EU laws in future that the UK has had no say in. Ultimately, my own belief is that the only closer relationship that actually works would be to rejoin the EU. The choice is the type of Brexit that we have, which will harm business, or to rejoin the EU so that we can participate in the adoption of all new laws that would apply in the UK. I don't think there's anything in between. Of course, these are complex issues, and it takes skillful politicians to be able to simplify the issues enough so that the lay person can understand. And I'm just not sure that our professional politician class actually has this skill at the moment. So there's a real lack of clarity around the UK approach to Brexit currently. Do we want to stand by Brexit and let the economy suffer? Or do we want to compromise on UK sovereignty to provide economic advantages? I think that this lack of clarity will continue under a Labour government. There are no easy answers here. I hope you found this information useful. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. I'd be really grateful for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.